Okay, so welcome to episode 3 of The Waiting Room. We have decided on that name, I think.
I think you decided on it and we are just rolling with it.
That's what we do. We just roll with it. The Waiting Room, we love the meaning. If you don't know the meaning, just go check out the bio and then, no, I'm kidding. The waiting room is basically life before we go back home to God. That's what it is.
Hmm.
And it's our journeys. And one of our journeys that I do want to talk about today is the start of our careers, because I
Ooh.
think that is really a cool story. I think a lot of people could find inspiration in that, relate to it. Not everything is perfect ever.
Far from it.
Um, far from it.
I wish it was.
And I wish too. But wishes are free. And you know, I love this memory that we have together at the beginning.
Which one?
It was the Where Did We Go From Here music video. Because when I
Um,
tell you everything that could have gone wrong
Everything.
went wrong. When I
Hmm.
mean like and keep in mind, we didn't know how to go about shooting like a
No,
music
it
video.
was your first
Maybe you
music
did.
video.
It was my first music video, but like, video treatments, I had no idea what that was. I was just like thinking I'm just gonna show up on the day and we're just gonna shoot some stuff.
Love that
And
attitude, by the way.
but it was such a cool experience because
Hmm.
we didn't have anyone to shoot it. We didn't have money to shoot it. And we had this massive idea that it was going to be some like Britney Spears type video. In my mind, it was. And, um, we did a video treatment. We looked up what that was, and we kind of just put one together. And we had a friend that could shoot who had a camera, so that was good. And then you had somebody that was actually a bit more professional that would potentially shoot it.
I think so, yeah. You know what's so
Yeah.
crazy? We've had so many more experiences since then that some of the details of that one are a little jaded for me, but I
Oh,
know
I
that it was
remember
a shit
everything.
show. Oh yeah, because it was your first.
I
But
remember everything because it was my first video. I had to say video at the end. It was my first video, and
yeah,
but it was honestly one of the best experiences only because it turned out to be so amazing, and
it
we
really
knew it
did.
would. But we knew it would, even though everything went wrong, because we were just optimistic the whole time. We were
I was just
hopeful.
gonna
We were
say that.
like, yeah, we had the director cancel on us 24 hours before the shoot.
Hmm.
We had, I remember Karen, this photographer, who happened to be in one of my sessions with Illmind. That's where I met her. And she was just like, text me whenever, I'll be there. And, it was 12 a.m. And I was like, let me text Karen because she said she would be there. Let me see. So I texted and, I was like, yo, we have a shoot tomorrow and we have to leave at 4 a.m., which is in like 4 hours. But could you
Hmm.
be there? Because I need somebody to shoot BTS.
And she
And
showed up.
yo, she responded right away. She showed up and she really did save the day. And I don't know if anybody believes in angels, but I truly believe she was one because
Mhm.
just to have saved the day like she did, like she wasn't meant to shoot the video and she ended up
Mm-mm.
shooting the whole video. Um, and imagine if I didn't text her. How
Right.
crazy is
Or even
that?
imagine she just didn't show up because it was so last minute.
Right. Imagine she just left me on red.
Right. No, you know what's so crazy though? Shout out to Karen because she did save the day with that. But I feel like we would have shot this on our phones. Like there's
A
no
hundred
way that
percent.
it wasn't going to get shot.
Right. Like we really had to shoot the video. So regardless of anyone that showed up, Maria was gonna hold the camera and she was gonna show me the takes in between and be like,
Yep.
let's do this,
We were
let's
gonna
try
figure it
this.
out.
We were gonna figure it out. And to be honest, that was one of my favorite experiences. And when I tell you everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, like even the model that we had, model slash actor, Bennett, who um
Very ugly guy.
he's so ugly. Um looks like Leonardo DiCaprio, like
Ugh.
super ugly. Um,
Like young Leo. Ugh.
and he was looked like young Leo, right? The worst. Um, but so in our video treatment, we had this Mustang, and we obviously had him in there. And we were looking through like a modeling website one day, and we're just like, who can we hit up on Instagram that could be the guy in the video? We found him. I messaged him on Instagram,
Hmm.
and the craziest thing happened because he was like, yo, I would love to, and was just super nice about it. And he's like, hey, I have this car that I think would be super cool for the video. And it was a Mustang. How
Crazy.
insane that the whole video treatment we put together, that we didn't even know how to put together, uh,
Hmm.
all of it just became a reality. And that was all God. I swear that was all God, because that was not meant to happen that day. And we made sure it
No, it
did.
was not. It was a day. And it was also, keep in mind, we shot in the desert and it was so hot that day. So
Right.
hot.
Oh, I was sweating first take.
And we didn't pack any food or water. Man,
We were
rookie
so unprepared,
mistakes.
but we knew that camera was always going to be rolling.
Yep. And also keep in mind, I don't know if you even knew this, we had an idea of the area we were going to shoot in, but I've never been there before, and neither have you. We were just like, okay, cool. I think if we keep driving, like we're driving towards Vegas from LA, we'll hit like a cool
We'll
remote
find a
spot.
spot.
And I went a
Right.
little bit ahead of you with Kofi,
Yeah.
who also helped shoot that day. And
Shout out.
as soon as we were driving, I saw this big red rock, and I was like, oh, this is the spot right
Yeah,
here. It's just something
you
about
said
it.
that.
I said, pull
Yeah.
over. I got out the car. I've never in my life experienced that level of quiet. Like it was so quiet. Like you hear nothing at all.
Wow.
And
Wow.
as I was walking around, I took a moment, I closed my eyes, I prayed, and I said, okay, I just feel it in my soul that this is the right place to be.
Right. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And we shot right there. And
Yeah.
then we ended up seeing a horse that wasn't even meant to be there that ended up being there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, you know what? Let's get on this horse.
Nori loves riding horses.
I
It's like
really
her
don't.
thing.
I love horses, but I mean, I've just had a bad experience with one. That is for another episode because we're not
I
doing
don't know
this
if that should
right
ever
now.
be in any episode, so
I don't
don't.
think that should ever be. No, I think you guys would get traumatized. And let's just leave it there. But no, that was the best video. I'm trying to go past that whole story. I know you're laughing and it's gonna make us keep talking about it, but we're not talking about it.
Just know I have never in my life ridden a horse, and after her story, I don't plan on riding a horse.
Well, you know what?
Ah,
I faced my fear and I did this for the video, but that was the first time I had gotten on a
wow.
horse after the
I'm proud
traumatic
of you.
experience I had. Thank
I would
you.
have never gone on a horse after that experience.
I know. Anything, I mean, I guess anything for the art.
Uh,
We did it. I did it.
oh my
It
gosh.
was so bad, but and we didn't even know how to edit a video before. We didn't know how to color correct, and we figured
No.
it out in less than a day. Well,
Hmm.
on the spot, because as soon as
While
we
we
got
were
back to
moving.
Maria's place, yeah, we had to start editing, and so we did it. We
I
edited
actually
the
have
video.
video
I'm so
footage.
grateful.
Did you know this? That I have video footage of when we were editing and the movers were like bringing all the boxes out my apartment. And we were just sitting there
Really?
editing in the kitchen table,
I
on the
wish
kitchen
we could
table.
show you that, but this was when we were fat.
We were
That's never seen
never
the light of day.
fat, but it's
No, we
okay to
were
be
fat.
fat.
No, but right, but we were fat.
We were at a weight that we weren't comfortable in our bodies, and don't want to revisit that time because it was not our best feeling time physically. How about that? Because the
Yeah,
internet is sensitive. We can't say certain words, Nori.
let me forget
Those are
the
trigger
internet.
words.
Okay, let's cut that out. We weren't comfortable with how we looked.
There we
Let's
go.
just say that.
Better.
You know, but I mean, we could possibly show them that video. I think that's kind of cool.
I'm crying.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was a cool experience only because it just showed how much we wanted it and we're
Hmm.
willing to make something work out of nothing. And we did do that. And I'm so proud of us. And that was the best video ever. Um, and just the experience that came with it. I'll never forget that experience. And that is something that we'll carry throughout our whole life with anything that we kind of go into. And I
Hmm.
feel like that's our mindset as well for a lot of things that we do. We're kind of problem solvers. Like nothing is ever, oh, we can't do it because this didn't work out.
Oh yeah,
It's okay,
no.
well, if that didn't work out, cool, then how are we going to do it? Let's figure it out.
No for
And
me means no over here. We have to find another way. No is not like a indefinite no. It doesn't mean a closed door. It just means try another door.
I agree. I agree. Well,
But
what about
hey,
you? You've had a lot of experiences as well. Like even you coming to LA for the first time, I feel like
hmm,
that is an amazing story in itself. And I feel like God led you down that road.
absolutely. Absolutely. I had
Everything the way it
zero
happened.
fear. Zero
Mm.
fear. I was working in New York at Republic Records, and my boss at the time, David Nathan, who has been such an amazing mentor and was such a great,
Oh,
amazing
really?
boss. I
Mm.
never would sit at my desk, and the key part of that job was to sit behind, the key part of that job was to sit in my desk and answer the
Right.
phones, especially when David wasn't there. My job was to pick up the phone and just what's it called? Patch him in.
Stay at your desk. That's all you
Yeah,
had to
stay at
do.
my desk.
Pick
My
up the
job
phone.
was to stay at my desk, and I never stayed at the desk. So David at some point sat me down and was like, listen, I'm leaving the company and I think you got to figure out something to do because they're going to give you another job here. And I don't think you're good at just like sitting at your desk. I think you need to work like at a job that's more mobile, that you move around. It's
Mm.
like different day to day. Something like artist management. Like you need to work in like a field where you're busy doing something. Like you're not meant for the office life. And I was like, wow, I agree, but I had no idea that like it was that obvious. But anyway, I had met the weekend's manager, Sal, maybe like a month or two before that. He had brought the weekend in to play at the time Starboy before it was released.
Wow.
And yeah, and something I always said that I wanted to work for whoever worked with the weekend because I was such a fan of the weekend. I used to see his shows from like the very beginning and I started to see the progression of him as an artist. And I was just so intrigued by that. So I was like, I want to work for Sal. I already knew. And David, my boss, was like, yeah, he lives in LA. So I don't know how that's going to happen for you. You live here. I was like, I'll move to LA. Like it was like a no-brainer for me. I was like, I'll move.
Right, right.
And he connected me with Sal. Sal, long story short, Sal was like, okay, cool. After, the holidays, what's your plan? Are you moving out here? I was like, yeah, I'm moving out there January, right after New Year's, which was a lie. I had no plan to move out there. So he's like, okay, cool. Call me, we get back the first week of January, give me a call, and then we'll set something up. Literally that Monday, I was sitting in my living room in New York, in Brooklyn, and I had messaged Sal and I was like, "Hey, I'm in LA. You know, I would
As you
love to
do.
meet."
I've done this before too.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, "Okay, great. Come to the office tomorrow at 11 a.m." Mind you, this is like 6 or 7 p.m. And the first thing I did, I just packed two bags, booked a flight on my way to the airport, and never came back. And then once I got to LA, I met with him and he was like, "Hey, I just started managing this artist you might know from New York. His name is French Montana, and I need to put somebody with him to be his day to day. Are you interested in that?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, why not? Absolutely. Let's do it." I met with French. We hit it off. It was the best 2.5, almost I think 3 years of my career. And yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I was living in a motel for the first like month or two when I first moved out here until I got an
Wow.
apartment. And it was actually through my job at Republic that I met one of my closest friends, Kayla, who winded up being my roommate for that whole time I was working for
Wow.
French. Yeah.
That's so
So we were
crazy.
both grinding it out
And
together.
then
And then I met
and
you.
then I joined.
And then I met you at probably about 2 years into me working with French.
No, I
Hmm.
remember. I mean,
In New
it's crazy
Zealand.
that you were going through this and then I was on the other end in New Zealand, like okay, so how do I get to LA? Then how do I figure it out? Because I mean, back then, it wasn't even
Were
that
you
long ago,
scared
like
when you moved
2017.
out here?
No, I wasn't.
Same.
I really wasn't. Hell
And I
no,
knew nobody
because
out here. Like I maybe
right,
no, that's a lie. I knew one person out here, but I wasn't in contact with anybody out here other than Kayla. I had no contact
right.
with anybody in LA. I had zero fear. Mind you, I was broke. I didn't have money like that. I was leaving a minimum wage job, practically minimum wage. Like I didn't have this huge savings account ready to go. I had no plan at all. I had a credit
Right.
card and a dream.
But you
I
know
made
what?
it
I think
happen.
those are the best ones because there's no expectation
Hmm.
and you just kind of go. There's nothing, there's no expectation and there was nothing
Yeah.
holding you back either. And you're just able to just go
Oh no, it was
and live
exciting.
and be excited. Yeah. And it was exciting for me as well because
Hmm.
it's crazy because you only knew Kayla and I had connected with Brian Kennedy, who's just the best.
Hmm.
I connected with him on Instagram because I had sent a cover that I did of Rihanna Close to You
Oh, I remember
and
that.
that he had produced. And I try to be smart about it, being like, well, I'm not going to send it to the artist. I'm just going to send it to the producer of the song.
Smart.
And he ended up responding and being like, yo, oh, my bad. This gave me goosebumps. And I was like, wow. So we were emailing for like 6 months. And at the time, I was studying computer science, which I don't think anybody really knows. I had a
Hmm.
scholarship too, by the way.
Woo.
And it, and it was in my last year that I had to kind of make the decision. No one was like, oh, it's either this or this. It was up to me. I was just like, look, I've got one more year left, but I
Wow.
could do that at any time. But
You
Brian
bet
had
on
been like,
yourself.
I bet on myself. And you know what? Brian kind of pushed me to it because he said we were emailing for about 6 months. I was writing songs, and back then I didn't really write. And he's like, look, I think you just need to be out in LA because it's out of sight, out of mind. And that never left me. And I was like, he's so right.
Wow.
Like, I just need to be there because I'm probably missing out on so many opportunities just because I'm not physically there. And it's not like people are going to wait to give them to you, it's going to the next person. And I knew that. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go. And I had like 3 jobs at the time, just trying to save up to make sure I could go and actually be there for at least a month.
Wow.
And even when I went, I was on a couch. It wasn't like I had enough money to get my own place or
Yeah.
anything. It wasn't that. But I just wanted to make sure I had enough to be there for a month. And Brian let me in his studio, which was amazing. The first time I actually went to the studio, he's like, okay, play us a track. And I just looked at him. I'm like, yo, I don't have any songs. That's why I'm here. And he just started cracking up laughing. And I was like, but look, I'm going to
Wow.
sing for you because that's why I'm here. And he was
Mm.
shocked by that because not many people like to do
No
that.
one wants to do that.
So, but I sung one of my favorite songs at the time, and it was Hurt by Christina Aguilera.
Oh, I used
And
to love
after
when you
that,
sang that song.
you know, anyways, it was that song. And after that, he was just like, okay, let's work. So then I just started learning, like being in a studio for the first time, like a proper, like professional studio for the first time.
Hmm.
Um, and me being me, and I think you're the same way, but I couldn't put all my eggs in one basket because I'm there to connect with people. I'm there to network and figure this place out because I knew no one except Brian, who was an amazing person to know, actually. And so, he would take me to some events, and then there were some events that I was trying to find on Instagram that I would be at by myself. And you know me, I don't like going anywhere by myself, but at the
Nope.
time, that I had to. And so I'm at these events by myself, and you just notice how many opportunities come from you just being there. So what Brian said was right, was
Hmm.
out of sight, out of mind. So it was me just being at this one. I remember being at this one event, and I was just standing outside. Just I didn't want to be in there anymore. And I feel like I'm an introvert extrovert because I can be on and off.
I feel I'm the same way. I can't
Same
explain
time
it.
too.
I feel like I'm an
Yeah,
introvert extrovert.
I'm
I
that
feel
as
like
well.
when
But
it comes to like work, I can be an extrovert because I understand what I'm being an extrovert for. But when it comes to like me going out for fun, oh my gosh, I'm like the most awkward person in the world. It's
Right. See, I can
embarrassing.
be on and off. It just depends who
Mm-hmm.
I'm with, I think, and where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I feel like at this specific time, like I forgot whose event it was, maybe Alex the Kids, I think it was. Um, but I was standing outside and then, this guy came up to me and started talking to me and I was just like, oh, those. I was just like, okay. But I just started talking and he was just interested in what I did. And then I was like, okay, because I told everybody that I was a singer right away. Like cut straight to
Mm-hmm.
the do you know what I mean? I wasn't there to for nothing except why I was there. And he was like, oh, I work at Paramount Pictures. And I said, oh really?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
what was your name?
And oh, so what movie? Okay, cool. You guys have offices here, right?
I'm crying.
And no, but he was so lovely. His name's Jason, and I'll never.
Oh,
He's
he's the
still one of my.
sweetest. He was
He's
such a
the
sweet,
sweetest.
sweet
I
man.
love him. I
I'm saying
really
he
do
was
love
like
him.
such a sweet man, like as if he's not here anymore. No, he is.
He's
He
still
is.
very
He's still
much
here,
here.
as far as I know. But
No, still very much here. We
I
still keep in contact, and
I love that.
so he was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you have music, then you can come to the offices and play us some music because we're always looking for music." And I'm like, "Okay." And I end up at Paramount Pictures, which I could not believe. I'm like, there is no way this is happening. And I had like two songs. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. I had like two songs and I played and they were ballads.
My gosh.
It's so bad. And
I mean,
he
it
was just
wasn't. I
like,
mean, it was the beginning for you. It wasn't
it was
bad.
the beginning. I just didn't want to miss. I mean, when you're there and you want to get opportunities, you just didn't want to miss out on any opportunities. So for me, it was just yeah, so for me, I was just like trying to figure it out. Like, I just wanted everything to be right. And so I played these songs and he was more interested in my voice, so which was amazing. And we kept in contact. We built our, a great friendship and he would invite me to events, so I would go and through that just through that friendship, one time I was at the gym, and this is comes back to the out of sight, out of mind thing because I was there able to pick up his phone call when he called about an opportunity to sing the song for a movie. And
Wow.
I was at
I
the gym at
remember
the time.
this.
Yeah. I was at the gym at the time and he said, "Hey, are you able to sing this Christmas song?" And straight away I said yes, even though I didn't hear the song. And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm about to text you the song." And I said, "Okay, cool." He sends it. I didn't even listen to it. I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I could do it." Like, where do you need like where am I pulling up
Mm-hmm.
to? And he
You were
was like,
ready.
"Can you meet me at the studio in like an hour?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I had to go straight from the gym, like looked horrible to be honest." And I end up getting there. We're at the studio and it's, where Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie recorded We Are the World.
Wow.
And I'm just in pure shock. Like, this is amazing. These studios are crazy. And they had the lyrics printed out for me. And I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing this. And he was like, look, don't get your hopes up. The directors said no to like 1,000 songs. So we're just trying our luck here. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Wow.
that makes me feel great.
Right.
And
That's a confidence boost right there.
right before you want me to record. Cool.
Literally.
So I ended up singing the song. They wanted me to sing it in a sort of like oldish type way, which I did. And a week later, I'm in an Uber and he calls me. He's like, "It's in the movie." And I said, "What?" It was, and this was before I had released any music. So for me, this was my first massive opportunity where I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, this is actually me coming out here is actually paying off. And I saw that like in real time where it was just happening and it was insane to me. And I was like, oh, okay, this could be a thing. And
Hmm.
ended up in Daddy's Home too. So if you go and watch that movie, shout out Paramount,
It's
shout
the
out
part of the
Jason.
movie where they're going to chop down Christmas trees. I think I
Yeah,
remember vaguely,
yeah,
just because we watched it 1,000 times after it came
a
out.
thousand times. But
Yeah.
if you wait
So
until the end as well, you'll see me in the credits.
okay. But I think so beautiful
Okay.
to like the most beautiful part of this whole thing, I think, is that the one common theme that between both of our careers is that we weren't ready, but we just took the leap of faith.
And that's the thing. is you're never ready
Never.
because waiting to be ready, you're going to be waiting a lifetime
You
because
just
you're never
sometimes have to
ready.
take that opportunity, and sometimes that
Mm,
opportunity doesn't come a second time. So I think in my career and in my experiences,
for
the
sure.
most biggest moves I've made have been just, I have to, you have to go now. There's no
Mhm.
like, you can't really sit down and think about it too long because we're creatures of habit and we like things controlled. We like things organized and
Right.
planned, especially me as a manager.
For
I
sure.
love things organized and planned. But don't get me wrong, if there's an opportunity that comes in and it requires you to get up and go, I'll go. I'll go
Go.
without a bag, without a suitcase, whatever it may be. I will be there. There's
For
nothing that will
sure.
stop me. And that hasn't stopped even at this point in my career. And I've been doing this now. I've been in LA maybe 6 or 7 years now. That still hasn't changed. If I get a call right now, I will go. If the opportunity is there, I'm gonna get up and go.
100%. I completely agree. I'm the same way.
Of course,
Um,
that's why we get along. And that's why, even like outside of manager artist, as friends, we were able to get along so good because the grind was that in the beginning, especially when we first started working together. It was a lot
mhm.
of, hey, are you guys available? Hey, can you come here? Very
Right.
last minute. And at the time, I lived very far from everything. I lived in Calabasas. So when you got
Right.
a
It
call
was
about,
far.
can you come to anything? Minimum, everything was like 30 minutes away.
I
Minimum.
remember when I had to do the national anthem for the Clippers game, I had to leave, I think like
Hmm.
4 hours early.
Yeah, because of
And
the
I was
traffic.
still, and I just made it maybe a little bit late. I'm not
I
even gonna lie.
remember. And I wasn't there for, I got there after because I was still working with French Montana at the time. So for me, I
Yeah, and you
was,
were trying to leave. I remember.
man, I'll never forget that day. And he kept seeing me look at my
And I
phone.
was
He's like,
texting Maria like, you need to be there
I
now. Like,
know, I know. But I was
where
like,
are you? I was nervous.
yeah.
And I thought I was late. And I did, when you go to like, it was Staples Center at the time. I'm still gonna call it Staples Center because that's what I like.
Wait,
Um,
they changed the name?
where are you from? Do you live in LA?
I do. I just don't go out.
Girl, it's crypto.com.
Oh, okay. Okay. I knew that there was an arena called that. I didn't know that that was Staples Center.
Yeah, they changed it.
I don't watch sports. I don't know if that gave it away, but
I mean, it's not just a sports stadium.
very true. Very
No,
true.
but yeah, they changed it. I think when, crypto was massive back then, and they were like, oh, we're gonna buy the Staples Center and we're gonna change his name. So they changed it, but
Okay.
I like the Staples Center better still. But yeah, going to the Staples Center, I've never been there. So I was just like, okay, where do I go? What do I do? It was all very
Scary.
nerve-wracking and scary.
But
And
you figured
then
it out and you weren't by yourself. You had a little team of people there with you.
yeah, no, thank God for I think Alexis was there and she met
Hmm.
me and she kind of,
Alexis,
took me in and it
Athena,
was Athena was there. Oh, I love
Athena,
Athena.
great photographer. Shout out to
Ah,
Athena.
shout out to Athena,
I
man.
saw her recently too.
She's such an amazing person. She
Hmm.
really is so genuine and she's been so passionate about her career and she really is one that started like just doing this and then ends up with an amazing career, and that's what happens when you stay consistent and
A
actually
hundred
do something
percent.
that you truly love.
100%.
Shout out to
And she's
her.
still doing it. I saw her recently at a
100%.
red carpet premiere. She was
Oh, was
there.
that?
I was there with my friend Kayla, who
Oh,
was
yes, yes,
who
yes.
was walking the red carpet. I forgot the name, but it was a Netflix show, Starting Five. The Starting
Oh,
Five. Yeah, and she was there doing photography. I was like, of course you're here.
I mean,
That
I
that's
think she's
another
gonna
example of
be
a
everywhere
person.
because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody loves her as well, and she is
100%.
amazing at what she does. So she's gonna be all over that.
A hundred
And I
percent.
loved it every time we would see her because we did it like I think I did the anthem twice. She was there both times, and
Mm-hmm.
she really knows how to she knows how to do her thing.
She does,
um,
and she does it
so
well.
shout out to her. But yeah, it went good though. Like
Oh,
the
100%. I mean, it started,
you ended
that
up
was,
there.
I did end up there. I do have a photo of us on the court. Good times, good times. It actually popped
My
up in my
fashion sense back
memories.
then, I cannot.
Uh, Maybe I'll
What?
post that picture.
No, please don't, because it's actually
I can't
embarrassing.
post
Like,
nothing. Nori does not want me to post nothing about from when we first met, even though I
n-
think we look the same.
Yeah, but the Staples Center the first time, I
No,
think I
I
was wearing
know.
track pants with like a turtleneck that was tucked into the track
I was
pants and
wearing an
some
Adidas tracksuit with a
random
leather jacket
boot
and
heels.
heels. Okay, so nothing gets worse than that.
What
Okay,
were you wearing?
an Adidas tracksuit with heels and a leather jacket and hoop
No,
earrings.
no,
Like
I'm telling
J
you.
Lo, I thought I was J Lo.
Yeah, but you pulled it off. I didn't. Like I really didn't.
I mean,
Like
thank you, but I don't think I
mine
did.
didn't go together whatsoever. At least yours was like a tracksuit. Mine was like a turtleneck and a track pants.
Touche,
Oh my God, it
touche.
was bad. It was bad. But
Good
oh,
times. Our
experiences, good
styles
times.
changed since then, but the hustle's still the same.
Right, right. Thank God. Skin looks
Right.
better too.
Yeah, we had a pretty rocky start in our careers. I think my career has been full of peaks and valleys, but it's only made it that much more interesting and rewarding.
Mm.
So, I mean, that's just a glimpse of
Yeah,
it. I'm sure like I will be sharing more as these episodes progress.
for
There's
sure.
just so many experiences that I can't wait to share. And I know
Right,
you have the
same.
same.
For sure. And I feel like everybody has, peaks and valleys, and that's life because it's never just like it never goes just like that. I feel like it's just always up and down and up and down. And I think once you accept that, you're at peace with the journey ahead. And
Mhm.
it's a
It's the
it's
lessons we learn in the
great.
valleys that allow us to have our peaks.
100%. And the one thing I would always say is be present in those moments because that is what you're going to remember. It's not even the destination anymore. It's
It's the
it's really
journey.
the journey and the people with you on that journey too because when I mean, look at us talking about our experiences. It wasn't about what the song did. It was about
No.
like the behind the scenes of the music video, or what happened on our way to
Hmm.
the Staples Center. You know what I mean? It's those things that you remember. So
The journey
um,
is my favorite part. There's
always
there's just so much stories to tell with the journey.
for sure, but it's definitely the company as well because I feel like
Mhm.
a lot of experiences I've had, I'm like I could easily forget this.
Oh, don't get me started.
Because of the
Those are the ones we'll
company
never talk about.
right, because of the company that was really about the people that you keep around you and have around you
Hmm.
um in those experiences and journeys that make it so much
Absolutely.
better. So
Absolutely, my friend.
okay, well I think we can wrap it up there, to be honest. I think that's a nice little segue to say it's so hard to say goodbye to this part.
Oh, okay, remix. Bye, guys.